Yes.
First questions. Can you tell me more about your ethnicity, original
My ethnicity.
Yeah.
My ethnicity. Goodness. You mean the racial breakdown?
Yeah.
I am.
This is brief.
I am. I guess you could say I'm 50% Japanese and 12.5% Siamese, and then the rest is something else. I guess I don't know. Does that help?
Yeah.
Do you even know what Siamese is?
I don't know.
Siamese is basically like a group of people originating in Thailand. Thailand used to be called Siam, 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 basically. So there is that mix, but I guess that's a kind of mix that's not going to get you on Channel V or MTV as one of the VJs because, you know, if you talk about that kind of mix, then it's a bit bigger. But yeah, technically, in a way, I am mixed. Does that help?
Yeah. And then.
Is that the answer you're looking for?
Yeah.
All right.
The second questions. So why do you pick Indonesia, Jakarta, for your incoming? For helping your income.
But I don't know, man. To be honest, being in Indonesia doesn't help my income because of the rupiah. Darn you, rupiah. But all jokes aside, it's not so much that I pick Indonesia. In so many ways, a lot of my journey throughout life, it feels that I've been chosen. Not in the sense that I'm a special one, but a lot of these kind of decisions are things that are made outside of my autonomy. It's not something like, oh, I choose to be here, I choose to be there, right? In some cases, it's like, I got a scholarship to be here. In other cases, oh, my parents decided to move there. And in this very specific case, the short answer is, and I believe all expats will answer this, my wife is Indonesian. And so yeah, it's just a lot simpler and more interesting for me. I do like difference. I like to experience different cultures, different ideas, different perspectives, if you will. And I find Indonesia to be a very interesting country from the outside, and now that I've been here, also from the inside. That's just a great variety. Yeah. So it's not so much that I choose it, but my wife is Indonesian, my son is born here, and it's just a kind of a natural thing. And I mentioned earlier about 12.5% Japanese. My paternal grandfather, my 50% Japanese. My paternal grandfather and my paternal grandmother, they both are Japanese in origin. So my grandfather was from Gresik, actually. So it's from my dad's side of the family, it's not so much that I choose to come here. It's more like, oh, you know, I'm coming back to the land of our ancestors.
Okay. So is it hard for you to adjust yourself with the condition in Indonesia?
Is it?
Is it hard for you to adjust yourself with the condition in Indonesia?
No.
Not at all. Why?
Not at all. I've lived in different countries around the world, in England and in Korea, and in that regard, Indonesia is a walk in the park in terms of adjusting. Linguistically, no real issues. Culturally, there's a lot that's very similar, if not identical, with the Malay culture, if you want to be precise. And in terms of distance, it's not that far away. And there's just a lot of things going on here that I can sit down and do without having to go through an extra layer of learning or relearning stuff. It's not exactly the same, but I have no problems adapting because I quite enjoy the challenge of new ideas, new cultures, new languages. That's just me. I enjoy difference, and so no issues for me.
So there's no cultural distraction and cultural difference that make you very hard to adapt?
No, not as far as I'm aware of. I think what you might meant is probably whether I find there to be a lot of differences.
Yeah.
Right. That's the thing. There are differences. There are plenty of differences. It's just that I don't have any issues with any of these differences. You understand? Yeah. So there are plenty. Linguistically, okay. Over here, certain words they sound the same, but they mean very different things. In Bahasa Indonesia, for instance, I think ganjaran is seen as a more negative thing, but in Malaysia it's seen as a more positive thing, right? So little things like this, and then there are other things like 7-Eleven, we say 7E in Malaysia, but then over here it's 7. So it's so there are differences. I mean, these are all small examples, but there are always going to be differences. But I don't have any issues with it.
So to end this up, how would you describe Indonesian people surrounding society?
Oh. I can't pick one word or one sentence because there's just a lot of people here from a great variety of backgrounds. It's difficult for me to say that, oh, Indonesians are like this or Indonesians are like that. What I have come across or encountered in my day-to-day life, it is largely positive, but I'm also aware that this is also something that reflects largely the socio-economic area that I basically play around in. So you and I, we're sitting down here, we're talking, it's all good, it's all fine and well, but we're from similar backgrounds. So in that regard, I feel like people from this background are like this, right? Friendly and all this kind of stuff, no real issues whatsoever. But I find it difficult to kind of say that it applies to people from other parts of Indonesia, or people from other different types of backgrounds. Not to say that they are worse off or better, it's just that I can't really say in one sentence what Indonesians are like. But for the most part, as I mentioned earlier, because I enjoy difference, my own personal idea is that it's all good. It's all good. I enjoy my satay Padang as well as much as I enjoy my satay Madura. So does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's all good.
So guys, thank you. So Mr. Ricky, thank you for your time and see you guys.
Oh, yes, thank you.
Hi, my name is Masha. Today I'm here with Miss Rihanna. So, Miss, can you tell us a bit about yourself, like where are you originally from, your ethnicity?
Originally, I'm from Bombay, India, but I've been in Jakarta for the last 20 years.
20 years?
Yes, 20
Oh, wow.
years. So this is a second home for me.
Oh, okay. So when you first came to Indonesia, is there like anything that shocked you, like cultural shock?
Culturally, nothing much because Indonesian culture and it's a little similar to Indian culture. Not a lot, but there are some similarities. But Indonesian culture, people are more open. Indian culture, again, 20 years ago, they were a little close-minded. But Indonesian culture, they were more open, more accepting.
Oh, so you don't really have a hard time adapting to
The hard time was the language.
Oh yeah,
the language.
How do you overcome that language?
I learned dictionary.
Oh yes.
I used to have this little red book, Kamus, the dictionary from Indonesian to English and from English to Indonesian.
Oh,
So
okay.
that helped me because 20 years ago not many people spoke English.
Oh.
Yeah, so that was a great help. This little pocket dictionary.
Okay. Do you use any like body language or anything?
Body language was, gestures. Gestures, but you do need to know the language.
Oh, okay. Do you have like anything that you dislike or you like about Indonesia? Like, for example, the people. Do you?
No, the people are very nice
Very
people.
nice here?
They're very, again, they accept you for who you are, regardless of where you come from. So they're very nice people. The traffic is a disadvantage, but that has nothing to do with the culture.
Oh.
But otherwise, very, very nice people. Nothing that I dislike.
Do the natives like treat you differently because you're a foreigner or anything?
Yeah, sometimes when you go to the shop,
Mhm.
especially now, they'll try and speak to you in English because they think you're a foreigner, so you don't know Bahasa. And then if I reply to them in Bahasa, they're a little surprised. But otherwise, nothing negative.
Oh,
They do think that if you have come from another country and you're living here, they think that you're very wealthy. Yeah. So that would be the drawback.
Oh.
But otherwise, I haven't experienced any discrimination.
Oh, but like for like them selling goods to you, like if you want to buy something, would you like sell it at a higher
Oh,
price?
definitely. And then when you start speaking to them in Bahasa, then they'll bring the price down. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Have you been anywhere else besides Jakarta, like Bandung? maybe?
Yeah, Bandung, Bali, Yogyakarta.
Mm.
Yeah, that's about it.
Is
Not
it-
too many places.
Oh, what do you
Yeah.
think about that? Is it good?
Well, Bali is a tourist spot.
Yeah.
Very similar to some places we have in India.
Mm.
Yeah, but it was nice. Yogyakarta, also a lot of culture over there.
Yeah, yeah.
So to learn about Indonesian culture, the heritage,
Mhm.
yeah, that was also nice. So I think each city in in Indonesia has a different charm. You learn
Yeah,
something
yeah.
different from
Yeah.
each city.
Have you ever tried Indonesian food, like traditional ones?
Oh, I love Indonesian food. I
Which,
love it.
what's your favorite food?
The most simple of food, mee goreng.
Mee
Though
goreng.
I do like rendang.
Mhm.
Yeah, but I like mee goreng. I love the Indonesian padang food.
Oh, Padang.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really nice.
So since I am not a vegetarian, it's easier for me to where food is concerned. But I do have friends who are vegetarians, and they have a difficult time
Yeah.
finding dishes that are vegetarian.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That's all.
All right.
Thank
Okay.
you, Miss.
Thank you.
Everything, I think. I'd never been to Indonesia before when I first arrived, so I didn't speak the language. I'd never lived in a Muslim country before, so I wasn't sure how people were supposed to act. So I think everything was very new to me.
Like, how do you overcome the language barrier when you first came?
You just practice. I never took lessons, but I just tried to pick up little bits of language every day and learn a little bit more every day. And I also I used to read Bola, the football magazine,
Oh yeah.
to try and pick up vocabulary and understand it that way. So I didn't do anything formal. I just tried to learn it on my own.
Did you have to like use your body gestures at first?
Yeah, but that's pretty similar. I mean, the good thing about the Indonesian language is the sounds are the same as English. It's not like Chinese where you're making completely different sounds. So it wasn't that difficult to at least try and communicate.
Do you have hard time adapting to Indonesian culture?
I don't think so. I've been here 23 years
Wow,
now, so
okay.
I think I'm pretty much okay. I don't. Now I certainly don't feel like I'm somebody who's not supposed to be in Indonesia. I probably feel about 50% English and 50% Indonesian now. So no, I don't have a problem anymore.
Now, what do you like and dislike about Indonesia? Like the culture, the people?
I think you've got to separate Jakarta from Indonesia because
Okay.
when you go to other places outside of Jakarta, you don't have the traffic. People tend to be a lot more relaxed. The pace of life tends to be a lot slower. Whereas in Jakarta, obviously life is a lot quicker. The traffic isn't nice. The pollution isn't nice. So I think if you were asking me about what don't I like about Indonesia, I'd probably say Jakarta. But what I do like about Indonesia is everything else. So it's just Jakarta really.
And how do the natives here treat you as a foreigner?
I think at the beginning, and again, remembering I've been here quite a long time, the whole "Hello, Mister" that was a little bit strange. But I think now it's strange because even now, if I get into a taxi and I speak Indonesian to the taxi driver, they're still quite shocked that a bule can speak Indonesian. They ask me questions like, "Do you eat rice?" Well, yeah, of course. There's nothing wrong with it. So it's still sometimes shocking that locals still see me as a foreigner, even though I'm speaking Indonesian and I've lived here for so long. But they're not doing it out of being nasty. It's not a
Yeah.
negative feeling. It's just strange that I've lived here for so long and yet people are still shocked that I can speak Indonesian.
And like you say just now, like you explore some cities in Indonesia. So do you have any favorite Indonesian foods?
Padang, I think is
Padang?
because there's such a good variety. You get to choose what you want basically. You don't just have to order one thing. So I like Padang. I like most Indonesian food. I know a lot of it is spicy. I'm not somebody that eats spicy food every day. I think if the food needs to be spicy, I'll eat it. But if it doesn't need to be spicy, I'm not going to cover it in sambal just to make it
It's
spicy.
spicy.
Yeah, exactly. So I like Indonesian food for kind of the original flavour rather than just making it spicy and making everything spicy.
Okay, so I think that's all for the interview.
Okay.
Thank you, sir, for your time.
You're very welcome. Thank you.